Greetings, Algo Artisans. We have a lot of excitement with Peng. Peng has just rocketed up in recent days. We're going to take a look at what's going on with Peng, and we're going to start with the charts right now. Okay, so here is a chart of Peng. Massive moves in this last couple of weeks of May. Last week in particular, Peng had bottomed out at about 25 cents after reaching 37 cents back on May the 20th. So a few days later, it was down to 25 cents and moved all the way up to almost $1, topped out at 95 cents. So almost a ×4 within a week. I mean, that is remarkable. Peng has a rich history of moving and moving hard. So let's take a look at what it did before when it first listed here, at least on MexC. Peng listed at 15 cents and made its way all the way up to $2.20. That's well over a ×10. I want to say that's closer to a ×15. Just amazing price movement. Right now, you do have a very strong community. People love their Peng. I did a video about Peng a few weeks ago, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into the details about the coin itself. We are going to look at the charts, and then if we have time, we're actually going to look at PEPE and Dog with Hat. Just depends on how much time we have to do this video. Obviously, the algos are bullish on the higher time frame, but right now it does appear that Peng wants to take a break. So where might Peng go down to before it heads back up, if it's going to head back up? Actually, before I even do that, these blue lines are what I drew on the prior show, and I drew these as resistances, and it made its way all the way up to that top resistance just below $1. That's where it went to. That being the case, looks like my predictions were correct, and as a matter of fact, once it broke through this 51 cent resistance, it did jump back down to go ahead and tag that to move further up. So will it go back down and tag that once more? A couple ways to look at this. First of all, I want to mark out some higher level resistances, right? If price were to go beyond what it just did, we have a couple of areas where price might find resistance on the way up and retrace. And those are right at these prior peaks. If you look right here back in the March move up, we had a pivot point at the all-time high here, and then again on the way down, it pivoted right there at about $1.60. So $2.20 to $1.60 are where price might find a little resistance on the way up, not to mention right about $1. Knowing that, let's go ahead and look at a more short-term look on Peng, right? Let's see what's going to happen possibly in the next week or so. Now, Peng's move up, as great as it is already heading back down about 30 some odd percent from that high at 94 cents. So let's take a look at the impulse that took Peng all the way to the top. On a higher time frame, the impulse is right about here, going from 34 cents up to 95 cents. That's the purest impulse that I can see. The strong move with no pullbacks on this time frame. So let me draw a Fibonacci extension based on that impulse so we can get some targets a little bit higher. If price were to break that high and break above basically 95 cents, the next two targets I would have would be sitting at about $1.12, $1.12, and about $1.33. Those are the two areas if I were just trading Peng where I might take profit. Now the real question is, right now that it's come up, how far down might it go? Well, we can use this same Fibonacci tool to see that we have a 618, and price basically has bounced off of that already. So the 618 is right here, and price wicked just above that. Not to say it won't continue down and maybe retest that, and then we have this high here from back in April sitting at 51 cents, and that's just above a 786. Now price did bounce, like I said earlier, off of that, so price may simply head down and bounce off that 618 and head back up, or it may also head down towards that 786 or even 51 cents and move up. Now of course it could go down lower. This is possible. Whether or not Peng continues down is going to depend on where we are in the bull market and whether or not Bitcoin is strong or at least stable. I'm going to use a fixed range, and I'm going to paint it across this same impulse to grab some volume node data, and that volume node data is also going to give us clue as to where price is attracted and to where price might be repelled. So first of all, price is attracted to these volume nodes that pop out, in particular this volume node that has that red line in it. That's called the point of control. That's where most of the volume happen. Now below that, we can see that there is a gap in the volume nodes, and that gap is where price is most likely to reject. And in this case, because price is heading down, I mean reject to the upside. upside. Some people would call that a bounce. So right now, if I were to take a guess as to how price would move, I would look at a grab of liquidity, possibly down to say 57 cents, and then maybe a little bit lower, but it might not make it any further than 49 cents. It might bounce right off that prior 51-cent level, off of which it bounced a couple of days ago, and head up. Now, this doesn't mean that is going to happen, right? A lot of things can happen. So I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying I'm going to have my eye out at these levels, and then once price reaches these levels, should I be interested in trading Peng, I could look for my algorithms to give me some more clues that price might turn around. And if that were the case, then I would consider a trade that might look something like this. Once I was confident the price would turn around and my algorithms tell me I can get into a trade, I might enter at that level, have a stop loss a little bit lower, and have a massive risk to reward ratio trade. 4-to-1, beautiful. It's a nice looking trade right here on Peng. So I'd look for that flip around, whether it happened now, later, whatever the algos say. Again, we have clues based on price action as well. And I might even take that trade. It is a good looking trade. That's the look on Peng for now. And of course, high time frame, we have the all-time high and other things with which price must contend. Let's go ahead and jump over to see if there's anything new going on with Peng. So here is the CoinGecko, price sitting at 66 cents, market cap 63 million. Trading volume is over 100% of the market cap, which is excellent. All the supply is out there. There's no supply locked up, so nobody has to worry about some large player who was in it from the start dumping on the market. There might be other large players who could dump on the market, but not from, say, somebody who built the project. Now, Peng itself can be bought on Gate.io, BitGet, Radium. Radium actually has a fair amount of volume for Peng. And you have MexC, BingX, Orca, so it's both on the DEXs and the CEXs, so that's great, easy to find. Here's the website. You can take a look at the partners on here. First of all, here are the exchanges, Jupiter, all these, BitGet, we just named all these. Now, the bigger partner I look at is Travala.com. We've already covered this in another video, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on the partners, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at what that's about. So here's Hello Moon, one of the partners, infrastructure to build the future of Solana. So obviously this is a Solana developer hub, and they are partnering with that. You have Travala.com. This is where you can use your cryptocurrency to pay for travel. So again, we covered this on a prior show. I'm not going to go deep into this. Just a reminder of who Peng is partnered with, because Peng was a meme coin. It didn't have anything going on, but now because it's risen and it's risen so strongly, companies are interested in working with it, if nothing else, to boost its speculation. But obviously Travala is a different story, right? And then you have these Epic Network, decentralized infrastructure network for seamless flows of real world value. So you have cards, payments, DPIN. These are just crypto payment rail solutions, and Peng does have a partnership with them. Same with Hey Wallet. It's a social wallet and trading assistant. Just another partnership with Peng. Just another place where Peng can be traded and worked with. So that's it for the partnerships. Again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on there. A little bit of news over on X though, X aka Twitter. Let's take a look at that. So on Twitter, we can see that we have some listings. We got a new listing over Sendex, so that's another DEX, it appears, and that's coming soon. Also BTSE, new listing. I'm not familiar with BTSE. It sounds familiar, but I don't know what that exchange is, whether it's a CEX or a DEX. Funny pictures, of course, and we have the chart. So not a whole lot going on, but it is an active Twitter, that's for sure. When you have a market cap of hundreds of millions, you probably should have enough money to pay somebody to give you an active Twitter. Let's take a quick look at PEPE and at Dog with Hat before we go. We'll do a little bonus charting here. Okay, so PEPE on a tear. Let's take a look at the most recent price action. I might do a deeper dive into PEPE on another video, but let's at least just talk about some recent price action here. And people in the audience, if you want me to do a full chart on PEPE, just go ahead and say so in the comments. If I get enough people asking for it, I will do a deeper dive into PEPE. But right now, I think the most likely place for price to fall is going to be to about 21. So with that, price might just go sideways for a minute, sideways and up, and head up. This does seem to be PEPE's pattern right now, and of course, being at the time in the market that we're at, as long as Bitcoin remains strong, this type of look is where I have more conviction than anything else. Okay, so let's look at Dog with Hat. Dog with Hat showing some strength. Obviously, it's just a massive coin, especially for those who got in before it hit all the exchanges, but here it is on Binance, and we have an all-time high, at least for this chart, sitting at 486, some local high here at 436, and price does seem seem to be approaching that. So the algos are bullish, so we can see the price is, probably going to approach that 436. Now, I might not do it in a straight line. For now, price has broken out of this range and is hanging out above this range right here. So it may be that price does take a moment to catch its breath and then head up. That's very possible. And if that's the case, what we might end up seeing is either a dash for this high, or we might see price actually pull back and then head to that high after it grabs a little liquidity right here. And again, a lot of that's probably going to depend on what Bitcoin is doing and the same type of action. If price breaks above that, perhaps it'll maybe grab liquidity or not and head up. But this again is going to be very dependent on what Bitcoin is doing. But that is what I'm looking at right now. A quick pullback and up, or just up. And that is going to go over the next few weeks. So again, if you want me to do a deeper dive into the price action and everything else of WIF, go ahead and ask in the YouTube or Rumble or whatever comments, and we'll do that for you if enough people ask for it. In the meantime, I do hope this video was helpful. Please come over to algofactory.tech. What we do is teach people how to build their own trading algorithms. You don't have to know how to computer code. Most people are trading these things manually. If you want to know how to code it, we can put you on the path to doing that so it can trade for you while you're not even at the computer. In the meantime, let's hear from one of our customers who's very happy with his results with Algo Factory.
This is Think Free's Algo Factory testimonial. I began my prescription for Algo Factory the summer of 2023. I am now 70 years old, and I have set a goal to have a supplementary income by learning to trade. I have been putting in about 3 to 4 hours per week of study time. In spite of this small time of commitment, I am determined to learn to trade. I set a goal of slow, steady progress in my learning. It is now March of 2024, and I have been delighted that through the articulate speech and hands-on help and support from Cowboy, I have developed an algo that looks very promising. I've come to appreciate Cowboy's remarkable ability to communicate and teach. He's not just knowledgeable, but also very creative in his shoot-from-the-hips approach. I wonder, is that where the name Cowboy came from? I have followed the Algo Cowboy and V the Guerrilla Economist for more than 3 years, and have found them to be very respectful, caring, and firmly rooted in reality. By that I mean they have a clear, deep, no-nonsense understanding of the world we live in, not just in trading and economics, but geopolitically and, dare I say, spiritually as well. For me, this fact makes working with them all the more gratifying and secure. This has and continues to be a great investment of my time and money. Also ends up being fun with the humor that is shared amongst our Algo Factory group members. Thank you, Cowboy.
Okay, thanks for listening to that. Don't forget, come on over, algofactory.tech. Trade your job, upgrade your life. We'll see you on the next one.